Hey, what's up guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, welcome back. Guys, listen. I think the saga with Ed Reed has come to an end. I don't know. I mean, barring some other news, this is to be the last time I speak about this. But I do want to talk about something. One of my subscribers today left me a message, and as usual, I didn't write it down. Well, I wasn't in a position to write it down, but I just wanted to acknowledge the young lady that said this. And she said to me, she said, you know, where's Dr. Umar Johnson? Now, I think she said that, you know, in the whole situation with Ed Reed. And I think, honestly, she is right in a way. Looking at this whole situation from top to bottom, was it wrong what Ed Reed did? Depends on how you look at it. Most people would say, yeah, the way he handled it was wrong. I agree. You know, just because I make videos, they're funny, I have my own opinion, doesn't mean I don't respect other people's way of thinking or opinion. And that's one of the things that you guys have been really good at, you know, with leaving the comments. You guys have been respectful. Some of the comments have been, you know, what they are, but hey, I can't change that. But listen, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Regardless of if Ed Reed was right or wrong, because in a way I think both sides are right. It's the university's, you know, job to keep a certain level of character, standards or whatever. And it's Ed Reed, you know, he was just speaking from the heart. And regardless of how he said it, it wasn't to be taken lightly. But this is one of the things that's upset me, and a lot of people are not thinking about. And I'm so glad the young lady brought this up in the comments. Yesterday, when I watched these kids protest, right? You know, each of them had individual signs. You guys can go look on the internet and you'll see everybody had individual signs of what grievances they had. There were a lot of signs out there, you know. And I'm looking deeper than just the surface. And when I say the surface, I'm just saying what's visually in front of us. And, you know, every school has their problems. But it was showing, apparently, it's a lot of problems at BCU. Now, whether it's a good school or not, I don't know. I ain't never been there. But it seems like it's a lot of silliness going on down there. And, I mean, this is something that goes on across a lot of other schools that nobody talks about. But the thing that bothers me, and when I brought up the thing with the protesters, is I didn't see no community activists out there at all. I didn't see no leaders. I mean, it's a protest and it's a serious thing. I didn't see no protesters out there. I didn't see anybody, you know, of any significance. Hey, let's go down there and show support. And I think that's when the young lady brought up Umar Johnson, because I did a video where it seemed like I was going off on Umar Johnson. You know, I wasn't. I was just stating my opinion about the whole situation. And Umar Johnson had spoke up about Deion Sanders, saying that Deion Sanders sold out the kids in J-State, and you know, he lost respect for him and all this other stuff. He left to go to a white school and all this other stuff. But the situation is similar to this. Here, a black man wanted to go to a black school and change the narrative that's negative, supposedly, and fix things where there was a problem. And all of a sudden, some flimflammery happened. You know, mainly ego related between him and the AD. Things are what they are. You know, we're not going to go back into it. Things are what they are. But it left with one man seemingly being railroaded after he apologized, and they had time to terminate him over time. So it made it look slick, like it was an agenda behind keeping him around for a few more days. I don't know whether it was to sign recruits, to get him to sign on the dotted line, and then tell him he's out of there. But I mean, either way, it just seems sketchy on how they fired somebody that really openly, like the president said, broke many school infractions blatantly, and it outraged them to where they could have let him go immediately after this was done, because the president ultimately makes the choice. And this happened a week ago, and they fired him later on, down days after he made the apology. But guys, listen, it's the same situation. Now, I'm not calling Dr. Umar Johnson out and this and that and all of that, but I mean, I'm saying, if we sitting around here and we talking about black issues and things like that, a lot of people talking, if they're pro-black, or if they're all about, unity and equality for the black nation and all of this other stuff that people talk, how come nobody was there at the rally to show support? You could have been there to show support either for Ed Reed or for the presidency. And it makes me think, sitting back, you know why I think it wasn't no support for this? Or not a lot of people talking about it? It's no way them kids were just out there showing them support by themselves. It would have meant a great deal of good to those kids, or inspiration, if someone was out there of a recognizable face in the black community saying, hey, I'm here with you. He didn't have to speak, or she didn't have to speak, but just to come there and show support for young minds, men and women, it would have made a major difference in showing the world that we still, hey, we still count. And this is a problem that affects black people here as well, the situation with the school. And that's how I think about it. I think nobody really went there and dealt with it. Granted, it was just one of those things where, they arranged it. It happened on Saturday, and then Monday they had the protest. It might have been not a lot of time, to logistically get down there. But I don't see nobody speaking on this. I haven't seen anybody of any importance or significance in the black community speaking about the situation and how messed up it was. And the reason why I say it was messed up is this. Regardless of the jokes I made, regardless of the serious stuff I made, bottom line is this. I think, honestly, like I said, it was egos, but this is something that men and women nowadays probably go through in the workforce. Somebody don't like you, they do some snake shit to get you out of there. And before you can defend yourself, they show you the door, and they make it to where you can't get to the person that can change the decision. And I think this is the situation with what Reggie Thea said. That's why I think Ed Reed was so upset, and he brought up the coach of the school and saying that he can help and all that, because he never imagined that the AD would pull some crap like that. And that happened to me before at jobs. You next in line to get the promotion or to take over a area, more responsibility, but somebody might want their kid in there, or somebody don't want you in there. And what they do, that person's in charge of you, you doing good, they telling you, good job, good job, good job. But they run over there to the boss and he not what we want. He's not ready. They do that to you. And this is a perfect example. Reggie Theus is an NBA star. Was an NBA star in the NBA. Got a resume in sports. Got the AD job and the basketball job. He the big fish on campus. Oh, that's Reggie Theus. He used to play in the NBA. He was already a superstar of the campus. Here come Ed Reed. It was bound to happen. Think about it. He run basketball. I think he trying to turn Bethune-Cookman into a primary basketball powerhouse school in the tournament to be renowned for basketball. That's what he's trying to do with Bethune-Cookman. Ed Reed threatened that. And it's like, if anybody looks and reads between the lines, honestly, with any type of brain in their head, they seen this was a thing of either envy or jealousy, one of the two. And it showed that, sometimes us as black folk still can't work together, even if we at an older age. And I don't think I'm blaming Ed for this. Because yesterday I saw, it's on YouTube. I don't know if it was a short or what. I seen where the parents were talking to Reggie Theus and complaining about Ed Reed leaving. These were men talking to him, right? And it was in the same room This happened after Ed Reed said all of that stuff and went on that last tirade in front of the students and stuff in that little boardroom they had, and he left. Reggie Theus was on that slideshow computer, when they had a computer on the slide, he was up there. They talking to Reggie Theus. You know what he was doing the whole time? You talking to him, he got his head down. Ain't even giving enough respect to look somebody in the eye. He got his head down. They talking, you know, asking him questions and getting the questions right. He looking around like somebody getting on his nerves or wasting his time. These are the people that pay you. They pay your salary. They pay for the school. They pay the tuition for these children that pay you. You couldn't even give them the basic respect. That's when I said, you know what? This guy is a major league asshole. I can see it. Like, oh, I don't want to hear this shit. And if you see it, take a look at it. And this video ain't about bashing him, but, you know, it gets back to what I'm saying. It seemed like no pro-blacks is, like, coming out like, yo, Bethune-Cookman did them wrong, or I think it's some funny stuff, or this and that, this and that. They're not going to do that. You know why? It's the wrong narrative. It's the wrong narrative. Ain't nobody going to say nothing about it. Black folk ain't going to say nothing about it because they're black. And that's the thing that's sad about it. You know what I'm saying? It'll raise questions. You supposed to be for black people. Why are you talking about a black school? Don't nobody want to mess with that. Another thing is this situation, you can't blame the white man for this. You know what I'm saying? And this is a classic example of how we do each other in community and other places, especially when we get higher up. You know what I'm saying? It ain't always about the fisticuffs. You know, it's about keeping what you got and not wanting to share anything with anybody else. Let me explain something to you. This light that's shining on me is touching this whole room. I cannot block this light and absorb it all. And the same goes for people liking people. You know what I'm saying? And anything that comes to reflect off of you, any light or shine that you get. You can't have it all. It can't come to you. So it's like, I just think the thing was messed up. Him and Reggie didn't deal with each other, and that's fine. That's fine. But I just think the way they did to get the man out was a railroad snow job. And I think that it ain't really no real activists and black folk that got problems with injustice against black people are speaking up about the injustice that happened to this man. And that's for real. I'm not no pro-black or anything like that. You know, I judge people the way they come at me. But honestly, man, I think it's foul that the man didn't get enough support. And only people that seemed like supporting him was the kids at the school. Some of them people didn't even know who Ed Reed was. They had ladies out there, young girls. They didn't know who Ed Reed was. And he had valid points. The man said there's holes in the gate where homeless people and crackheads walk all through the thing. The place is not safe. There are wimp people's children there. Young ladies walking around and all this other stuff. Didn't seem like he was being disrespectful to me. So that music thing was bullshit. Because who would play more music than anybody that's black music than black folk on black campuses? There's parties all the time. People riding around. I was there. People riding around, pumping the music. Girls dancing. They twerking out there in the town square, whatever it is. When the music come on, people going to do what they do. They're going to do what they do. But man, I'm just saying, I mean, I just think it's sad, and I ain't calling nobody out, but I think it's sad that we can pick and choose what we say is an injustice towards us as a people. But when it comes to something simple that happens to us every day, whether it's in corporate America, blue collar America, or something, we always getting shitted on by our own kind, and nobody says nothing about it. And then when we react the way we react, all of a sudden we the bad guy. That's the setup. Y'all need to fix your minds. And I want everybody to think. I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion about anybody, about the school or anything. But we need to start thinking and start looking through. Instead of looking at the action, look at what was the reason for the action. Sometimes the action justifies the reaction. I mean, the action justifies the reaction. Keeping it real, man. What if Ed Reed smacked the shit out of old ass Reggie Theus? He would have really looked bad, right? But judging him and being around, you know, men and seeing the anger and how he was like bottling it in, And there was things you could see in that interview when he was on Roland Martin that he did not want to say. And that's the thing. Everybody got, the president too. It's something going on where they can only say so much because it either incriminate them or it'll blow the whole thing up. And if you pay attention, you'll see it. But my thing is, I lose respect for Reggie Theus. He never came out and said anything. He didn't deliver. He's the one that's supposed to be firing Ed Reed. He didn't deliver the message. He did it old slick underhanded, give it to somebody else and then get out of Dodge. I guarantee you, when the president fired him, he probably wasn't even standing in his face. Probably called him, or that letter was the thing. And I think that's what made Ed Reed go off too. They wasn't manly about it. But listen, people pick and choose their battles. But if you're supposed to be fighting for the rights of us and black folk and all this, and you pointing out injustice, this right here was a non-violent black on black crime. Somebody tell me if I'm lying. Think about it. Listen, I'm Stock Market Steve. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm not calling nobody out, but I want you to start thinking. Start thinking as people. Everything ain't about color, but a lot of stuff is about character. And there's some fucked up characters down there. And man, look, it is what it is. You guys take care.